They were once angels, bathed in the divine light of heaven. Their wings, feathered white, shimmered with an otherworldly glow, but their love for the fallen, for Lucifer and his legions, proved stronger than their loyalty to the divine. They chose their love, a love that tasted of rebellion and defiance. Cast out of heaven, they plummeted from the celestial heights. Their fall was long, their lamentations echoing through the cosmos. Heaven, once their home, became a distant memory, a painful reminder of what they had lost. Paradise was gone, replaced by a crushing emptiness that gnawed at their hearts. Their angelic beauty, once radiant, began to wither, reflecting the darkness that had seeped into their souls. Stripped of their grace, they descended into a world of shadows and sorrow. The earth, with its verdant forests and shimmering oceans, held no allure for them. They were creatures of the heavens, forever exiled, forever lost. Their hearts, once filled with love, hardened into bitter resentment. Their tears as they fell mingled with the salt spray of the ocean. The waves, as if sensing their anguish, rose up to meet them, and in the depths of their despair, a chilling transformation began to take hold. The ocean, vast and unforgiving, became their new domain. Its cold, unyielding depths mirrored the icy void that had consumed their hearts. The salt water, stinging their eyes, washed away their tears of sorrow and replaced them with an unquenchable thirst for vengeance. Their angelic forms, too ethereal for this earthly realm, began to twist and contort. Gone were their delicate features, their smooth alabaster skin. The ocean, in its cruel embrace, reshaped them. Their mouths widened into gaping maws, their teeth sharpening into predatory points. Slender fingers, once used to strum celestial harps, morphed into claws. Webbed and powerful, they were capable of tearing flesh from bone. Their once graceful legs fused, transforming into serpentine tails, their scales shimmering with an unnatural iridescence. The ocean, sensing their growing power, granted them dominion over its creatures. Sharks, barracudas, and giant squid answered their call, their eyes reflecting the sirens' newfound darkness. They were no longer angels. They were sirens, creatures of the deep, forever bound to the sea and fueled by their burning hatred. The sirens made their home in the treacherous reefs and hidden grottos, far from the prying eyes of men, but their rage, their bitterness, could not be contained. It seeped out, carried on the ocean breeze, a haunting melody of despair. Sailors weary from long voyages would hear these whispers on the wind, a mournful song filled with longing and promises of solace. It spoke of home, of love, of respite from the endless toil of the sea. The sirens knew the desires of men, knew how to exploit their loneliness, their vulnerability. Their voices, once angelic, now held an alluring quality, a hypnotic power that could ensnare the strongest will. They would weave tales of hidden islands, of treasures beyond imagining, all the while luring their victims closer to their doom. The ocean itself seemed to conspire with them, the waves guiding the ships towards Drawn in by the siren's song, sailors would find their ships caught in the grip of an unseen force. The rudder would lock, the sails would go slack, and the vessel would drift helplessly towards the jagged rocks that awaited them. Panic would set in, the crew scrambling to regain control, but it was always futile. The siren's magic held them fast, drawing them closer to their doom, and then, through the mist and the spray, they would see them. The sirens, their beauty, both terrifying and alluring, would momentarily stun the sailors. Long flowing hair, the color of seaweed, framed faces that were both beautiful and grotesque. Their eyes, cold and predatory, held a hypnotic power that robbed men of their will. Section 5, a feast for the senses. The sirens would circle the stricken ships, their laughter echoing across the waves, a chilling counterpoint to the terrified cries of the sailors. The air would grow heavy, thick with the scent of salt and brine and something else, something primal, something intoxicating. This was the sirens' most insidious weapon. Their allure, it went beyond their physical beauty, weaving its way into the minds of men, overwhelming their senses with a potent cocktail of desire and dread. The sailors, their minds addled, would be powerless to resist as the sirens moved in for the kill. Their sharp claws would tear through wood and flesh with equal ease, dragging their victims down into the depths. The ocean, stained crimson with the blood of the fallen, would churn and roil as if satisfied by this gruesome sacrifice. The souls of the drowned men, ripped from their mortal shells, would find themselves trapped. Bound to the sirens by dark magic, they were forced to serve as their eternal playthings. Their forms, twisted and broken by the ocean's embrace, became grotesque parodies of their former selves. Barnacles clung to their pallid skin, their eyes vacant and staring. They were slaves to the sirens' will, their souls forever shackled to this watery purgatory. The sirens took perverse pleasure in their suffering, delighting in their torment. They would whisper lies into the ears of the damned, reminding them of their loved ones, of the lives they had lost, twisting the knife of their despair. But the sirens were not content with merely tormenting the souls in their grasp. They served a darker master, one who resided in the fiery depths of the underworld. Deep beneath the ocean floor, in a realm of perpetual darkness and suffocating pressure, lay the entrance to Lucifer's domain. It was a place of fire and brimstone, where the damned were condemned to an eternity of suffering. The sirens, using their dark powers, would bind the stolen souls to monstrous sea creatures. These grotesque beasts, their flesh covered in phosphorescent scales and their eyes burning with an infernal light, would then ferry their hapless cargo down into the abyss. The journey was long and arduous, fraught with peril. Many of the souls, unable to withstand the crushing pressure and the suffocating darkness, would perish along the way, their essence dissolving into the black void. But for those who survived, a fate far worse awaited them. Lucifer, the fallen angel, the lord of the underworld, coveted the souls of men. He saw in them a reflection of his own rebellion, a flicker of defiance that he sought to nurture and corrupt. The sirens, his loyal servants, delivered to him a steady stream of fresh souls, ripe for the picking. He would greet them personally, his eyes burning with an unholy light, his voice a seductive whisper that promised power and oblivion in equal measure. He would offer them a choice: serve him in his eternal war against heaven, or spend eternity in the fiery pits of hell. Most, broken and despairing, chose the former, their souls forever forfeit. Transformed into demons, the souls of the drowned men were condemned to an eternity of servitude. They would join Lucifer's legions in the underworld, their rage and despair fueling his infernal war machine. Some were tasked with torturing the damned, their laughter echoing through the cavernous halls of hell. Others were sent back to the mortal realm disguised as tempting demons to spread chaos and discord among mankind. The sirens, their thirst for vengeance temporarily sated, would return to their watery domain, their haunting melodies once again echoing across the waves. They knew that there would always be more ships, more sailors, more souls to ensnare. Their work was never done, for they were the sirens, the wives of the fallen angels, and the ocean was their hunting ground.